joining me. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute and 10 seconds. Hi, and thank you for joining me. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I'm a small business owner and a part of the xTool Squad program. So what is the xTool Squad, you might ask? Well, the xTool Squad is a global network of experienced makers, educators, and small business owners, such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the xTool products that we own. And the demos are a mix of online and in person. It really differs by host. Some members of the xTool Squad will also offer material testing and skill training. So material testing is essentially testing customer supplied sample material under a different array of tests to get you ideal results. Whereas skill training is essentially a one-on-one masterclass with a squad member. So what I tend to do is I try and find out what you're trying to get out of it. If you say, Wayne, I absolutely love the software, got no problems with it, but the physical machine scares me. I need help with maintenance. I need help knowing how to do X, Y, or Z. That's what we're tailoring around. A lot of my skill training tends to be a bit of everything, but I have had skill training that's solely focused on xTool Studio or the hardware side of things. So it's very tailored to you. And right now, xTool is running a promotion. Product demos are absolutely free. So material testing and skill training, they're paid for aspects, and the cost to you for that depends on which host you go with. Whereas the product demos are absolutely free. And what I'll do is I will drop a link to the host page where you can find a local person to yourself. So if I was to switch over to the web browser now and just go over, so this is the main UK xTool website. And if you just hover over this local support free product demo, you'll be greeted with this page. So from here, you can say, what do you want to do? I would always advise, where possible, physically see the host, physically see the machine. It's night and day different when you see the machine versus demoing it online. It's easy to get an idea online, but when you physically see the machine, sometimes you need to see just how big some of the machines are, like the P3, for example. And that comes through better in person. So if I was to just have a look at, say, Luton, and go, okay, I'm around Luton Way. I am looking for the apparel printer. And off the bat, we have a couple of hosts. So we have Paul and Andy, two great guys that are very knowledgeable. And I can go, do you know what? I want to book with Paul, and it's a simple case of booking a time that suits you and that Paul has available. So when I talked about material testing and skill training, you can see here, these are paid for items. So these are the prices that the host set, and you're paying the host effectively through xTool, whereas the product demo is absolutely free. So if you're thinking, what do we get out of it? xTool will pay us to demo our machines to you. We get paid regardless if you buy one or not. But just for transparency, if you do buy a machine, the host that you selected, so in this case, Paul, would get a small commission. If you was to select me, I would get a small commission for you purchasing a machine. And again, it's literally that simple. When you do a product demo, you pay absolutely nothing. It doesn't even ask you for payment details. You just have to enter in the contact information, select obviously a date that works for you, and it will send the host a notification. So it's literally that simple. So I highly recommend you do that if you're interested in buying a machine. The O1s will be dropping to some of the hosts this week, hopefully. I'm hoping to get mine. So I'll be doing a lot of demos online and a couple of in-persons next week. If anyone has any questions about the O1, please do let me know. If you're looking for in-person demos or even an online demo, if you let me know your location, I can try and sort you out with the localist host to you. More than happy to do that. So we're a team here at the xTool squad, so I'm more than happy to send you to my host co-workers. Now, without further ado, if I have a little workshop, so this is the machines that I have here in the office, the M2, the F2, the F2 Ultra UV. I do have the Wonder Press. I've still not moved it to the office. I have the O1 on its way. And one of the things I just want to say is xTool have just released a new update to xTool Studio. So now it is version 1.8.22. So what we'll do is we'll jump straight into the software. And this is what makes the difference for me between xTool and third-party competition for laser engravers or even printers now. So xTool software is completely integrated into all of their products. So if I was to just switch over now, there we go. And I should know I'm very bad at doing this. If you use the coupon Wayne20, you will get £20 off on top of the current discounts that are running for the back to school sale. So this is the xTool Studio software. As you can see, I have one of the machines on. This is the xTool F2. So this is one of their smaller Galvo lasers. It's absolutely blazing fast. It has a small work area, but it's very, very quick. So we'll do a few demos, a few products on this. But what I'll do first is I'll just show you the new features. So most of the updates for this specific version tailor around the O1. But what I want to show you is if you used to download this software today, you could try out, as I am doing, some of the features of the O1. So you can see here, I've got an A3 template for the O1. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm doing some costing exercises. I have some baubles that I'm going to print on clear acrylic for Christmas for various family members. I also have some orders that I need to get ready for Christmas time. And you might be thinking, Christmas is a long time out. It is, but a lot of planning goes into it in order to be successful. So one of the first things I want to show you is just how easy it is to use xTool Studio. So if you're familiar with, say, pre-cut design space, so if you're moving from a vinyl machine and you're adding to it and you're starting laser engraving, or maybe in this case UV printing, you'll have all the normal options you would expect. So you have the ability to add text, basic shapes, more complex shapes. So you have that ability. You also have the ability to start using templates. So if it's someone's birthday, or maybe you want to get inspired and find a project. So if you was to go to the home screen, you'll see this Atom projects. This is integrated into xTool Studio. It's also its own website. So by that, I mean, if I go over to here and just shoot over to here, you can see here atom.com, and that's ATOMM.com. And you can find similar things here. So laser cut, print. So what is trending? So if I was to switch back over and go to Atom, print, and again, you can see it's similar. It's integrated into their software. So it's a single pane of glass. If I wanted to start working on something, so let's just say we're doing laser cut. These are cute ghosts. Maybe this is something for Halloween. If I click on that, I'm greeted with what material was used. So this is xTool material. So this isn't the cost of what it will cost you to use this design. This is the material. So you're getting 18 pieces of basswood, so ply basswood, 12 inches by 24 inches, and it's 1/8 inch thick. So it also tells you here some information, what machine it was designed on. Now, if I just click open, I have a couple of options. So I'm just going to open this in a new project. And you'll see straight away it's opened up. It's connected to my S1 because it knows that I have an S1. I don't have the S1 here in the office. I have it in a different location. So I can say, do you know what? We'll do this on the F2. So this, as you can see here, was cut out of wood. Now these ghost earrings, you go, where are they? There we go. Now, it's that simple to add in. So if we have a look at how these are composed, so right now they're grouped up, and I know this because when I move one, it selects all. So if we have a look here, the layer objects, you can see they're all layered, and what I'm going to do is just ungroup it. So the red layer is all cut layers, and I know, well, it's score here. Score, compound vector, engrave. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of all the red layer. So I'm not going to cut this out. I'm actually going to put this on the other side of keychain. So just to show you something, I'm going to select one of these. We will select this one. And what I'm going to do is select the appropriate material. So just for demo purposes, we will actually do this on the underside of wood. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm just going to simply place this into the area. I'm going to shut that down, and I'm just going to select some plywood. Now, I don't have the automation mode enabled on this. So the M2 has this automation mode where you open and close the lid, and when you close the lid, it will automatically detect the material if there's a QR code. So if you're using xTool select material, it will scan that QR code, pull up the appropriate settings, set the focus. I have this turned off on the F2 at the moment, but if I was to turn it on, it's a simple case of hitting the settings button, so device settings, and under device settings, you've got this auto mode. So if I was to show you that auto mode now, so that you saw that I open and close this lid. If I open and close it again, now it is in automation mode. So you can see it here focusing. What I'll do is I will just drop my coupon information into there, and I will drop the machine that I'm using here into the comments. So you can see here it's no material information detected, but we've already selected the appropriate material, and we'll know it's changed because when we click on it here, you've got this one-click settings. It's automatically said, these are the settings that we want. This is the recommended settings. You can see here a test piece. So material testing has been done by xTool for this specific piece of material. Now, if we was to say, do you know what? We would change those settings to something else. So if we was to change that to metal, so that stainless steel dog tag, you can see again, it's changed. So now it's selected IR reference, and you can see here it's changed the laser to the infrared because it knows it's metal. And it's selected again the appropriate settings, and here again it's selected the appropriate settings. So what we'll do is we'll change this back to plywood, and it might go, do you know what, we can engrave both of these on here, and what we'll do is put them there. So in fact, if I zoom in on the camera and open it up, I'll show you how to frame as well. So with a galvo laser, you have real-time framing. So if I was to actually and we'll just use a rectangle frame. So when we frame it, you'll get this outline here of where it is. So I'm going to turn off automation mode. Done what it's needed to do. And if I was to hit this frame button here, you can see exactly where it's going to go. Now, there are some different options in terms of framing. So let's just say I move this out and I copy one. You can see the framing is in real time as I move this around. Now, you also have some other options. So outline, that does come in handy. And same with polygon. So you have several different options. And it could be that you go like this. So if I turn off framing and turn framing on now, again, it comes up weird, as you can see. I've got it on polygon, but then if I was to select just one element. So I just thought I'd mention that because this is absolutely handy to have. Now, what I'll do is I'll turn framing off, get rid of that, and we will put this in here. Now, if we wanted to add some text, maybe we want to give them names. And again, this is something that we've just pulled off. Ghost Reading Book, Dangle Earrings is the name of it. In theory, I could actually cut these out. So it might be, do you know what? We actually do want to cut these out. So if we want to do that, maybe we'll use the F2 Ultra UV because the F2 Ultra UV is able to cut wood, especially thin wood like this. This is only 3mm, and it can do so without causing any burn marks. So this machine can cut, and we can use this to prop it up on. So this here, if I was to just show you, this is a cutting plate, and this just allows some air to breathe underneath and protects your base. But the galvo-based machines do not have air assist. So if I was to actually, we'll do it on both. We'll engrave on this, and I'll cut one out on the F2 Ultra UV. So we'll have two jobs going at once. And what I will do is I will vent the F2 Ultra UV outside. The F2 that I have here has the air purifier attached to the back. So we're going to do this project on two machines simultaneously. So we won't cut on this machine, but we will copy this. I'll hit new project, and we will do the same thing but on the F2 Ultra UV. So if I switch over to that, what I'm going to do here is open, ghost earrings, and that one. I'm going to switch to the UV, switch. There we go. Auto mode, I've closed the lid. I will skip this for the moment, so I will update that. So that fixes a bug in the F2 Ultra UV. So anyone that has the F2 Ultra UV, it does have auto mode, but it can get stuck in auto mode. So xTool will fix that. So what we'll do here is I'm going to turn that red layer. I'm going to find here. And what I'll do is I'm going to get rid of the circles and the vectors here. So the red ones here are actually going to be cut. So the first thing you want to do here is select the appropriate material. And there we have it. So if I select one of these, discard that now. So we'll do the exact same thing, but I'll only do a score on the F2. So we're going to do the exact same thing on the F2 as well as the... In fact, you know what? I've got the air purifier, I might as well give it a cut, and I can show you the difference between air assist. So we'll do the exact same thing, in fact. And I don't know how well you can see it, but there's two red dots. And what I'll do for the F2 is I'll enable this auto mode. And when I close the lid, it will properly focus the material. So the first thing I want to do here is focus the F2 Ultra UV. That's focused. It's took a picture. Perfect. I'm happy with that. If I click on red, 44. I'm actually going to go on red. Cut. That is cut. There we go. I'm going to change that to 52 times because this is just slightly thicker than the normal material here. And this should be good. So if I have red, set to cut, set this again to the same material. So we shall see how well this goes. So I'm going to turn off that auto mode now. I'm going to hit framing. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do this same project on two different machines. So you have the F2 Ultra UV as well as the F2. So if I hit process, so this is the F2 Ultra. It's going to take 1 minute and 36 seconds. So I'll hit start. And what I'll do is I'm just going to go over to the other end of the office and press the start button. So that's thinking of doing it. While this is now working, I'm going to hit minimize. I'm going to hit the F2, hit process. 1 minute 12. And just hit the side button. So again, this is a project that was on our home screen, trending. So this is very much Halloween related, I think. And you can see the engrave looks absolutely fantastic. So it will do the engrave first, followed by the cutting. So I've been asked questions about how does it determine when it does things. So it automatically, so when we hit this process button here, you do have a little dot, dot, dot next to it. And at the moment, it has auto panning, which will always do scoring and engraving, with the last action always being the cutting. But you could actually make it go through your layers sequentially. And there are reasons why you might want to do certain aspects first before you do other things. So you can take control of that, but do note that it will adjust the time a little bit. So at the moment, it automatically gives you the best time. So it's cut out. So this is absolutely fine. This is done. And I just want to show you the difference. So I have these ones here of the f2. And if I switch over to the desk camera, so these are from the f2. And we know that for sure because you can see just how burnt these are here. I say burnt, they're you can see the heat has been used to cut through the wood. Now, if I go over to the f2 Ultra UV, so these literally dropped out of the wood. So this was the wood, and these ones here literally fell out. Now the f2 Ultra UV, because the dot size is so tiny, they're still, it feels like they're stuck, but they're not. You just have to get them out at the right angle. So for me, the f2 Ultra is perfect if you're doing like a jigsaw. They really do stay in place. So I get this out. And it can be quite, and the reason for that is the dot size of the f2 Ultra UV is tiny in comparison. So I think I've managed to successfully jam this in. There we go. So again, tries to show you here that these are the f2 Ultra UV, and there is some differences. So I'll hold that there. So these again are with the UV, and these are with the f2 and the diode. So if I turn the side, you can see the charring. If I turn the side here, absolutely no charring. So the way that these lasers work is fundamentally different. So the diode uses heat to cut through the wood, get rid of material, whereas the f2 Ultra UV, the UV laser, uses its high photon energy to break down the molecular bonds of the material, and it does so with minimal heat. It's sometimes referred to as a cold processing laser, and as you can see, it's very delicate. So it's not to say it doesn't produce heat. The UV laser does produce heat, it just produces way less heat compared to other types of laser. And the details you can see, very kind. The UV is very, very gentle in comparison. So different lasers for different projects. So I always get asked, I want to do this, this, and this. And sometimes you need 2 different lasers. And that is just not me trying to sell you more lasers. It's just that one laser is very adept at a certain aspect, whereas another laser can do something different. So for example, engraving acrylic. The UV laser can engrave acrylic, but when it comes to cutting acrylic, the CO2 laser will always be the go-to. And that's simply because it can cut all types of colors of acrylic. So when people come to me and say, I'm looking to do cake toppers, wedding signs, and I want to use all colors of acrylic, but they're looking at, say, the M2, the S1, the M1 Ultra, I always make sure to tell people what they can and can't do on that machine. And it's not a limitation from xTool's side. It's not because they didn't want you to cut acrylic, for example. It's a type of laser that's in it, the diode laser. So diode lasers are very good for organic material, so slate, wood. CO2 lasers are also good for cutting wood, but a CO2 laser will operate at a completely different wavelength, and it's able to absorb into the different colors of acrylic. So for example, if you're trying to cut clear acrylic, if I used the F2, the laser will go straight through it and it won't cut. Or if you're able to make it cut, it will melt it and it won't give you the result that you want, that your customer will be happy with. So you have to use the right tool for the job. So if you're doing all colors of acrylic, specifically cutting, you really do need a CO2 laser. It's the only option that you have at the moment. If you're engraving, it can be slightly different, but if you're cutting, you'll need the right tool for the job, and that's what it boils down to. I use multiple lasers on a single project. So for example, I have a coaster over here. See if I can find it. Got one here. I do have a couple more coasters in other places, but if I was to just show you under the desk cam, I engraved, there we go, it's not the best lighting. I engraved this using the F2 and then the gold writing using the F2 Ultra UV. So because of the type of laser it is, I was able to get a consistent gold effect. It looks like it's painted gold. If I can find my other two coasters that I've done, so if I just grab them. So I did these live a few weeks back. So again, this was done on the F2, just using the diode, and the same here. But then the gold aspects are done using the F2 Ultra UV. And I was able to do this consistently. So to get that effect, that's something no one else is doing, really. So slate coasters, when you look up slate coasters, customized slate coasters, everyone's doing it. But what can differentiate me from the competition? And it's simple things like this. And to do this, I need two different lasers. And again, here it is. So it comes in handy having multiple lasers. And with that being said, if I was to switch back over, one of the other updates of software is the ability to use multiple devices. So if you're getting the O1, so I have the O1 on pre-order. I'm hoping to get it next week. We'll see. If not, I will have to practice more patience. But I'm excited to demo it to everyone. I've been asked by numerous people to let them know once I've got it so they can come here in the office for a demo. I've got a few online demos on hold until I get the physical machine. So I can't wait to show everyone watching the machine and what it can do. And if you're asking the question, how will I know how to use it? I've been practicing. So again, if you download this software today, you can do exactly what I'm about to show you. So the first thing I want to show you first is this multiple device support. So the latest update adds the full range of machines to the list. So people were getting concerned because it only showed the P3, the S1 and the M1 Ultra, but xTool have now added the P2, the P2S, as well as the M2. So this is that print and cut feature that xTool said they were coming out with. So they've added support for another 3 devices. Now, if you go onto a new tab or new project, if you download this software today, excuse me, you can switch So switch device. So if you don't have any devices connected, you'll get this device library. So I have it set to the O1. And now I can test out the O1 and what it can do. It's work area. So it has two build plates, for example, the smaller build plate and the bigger build plate. I can see what objects I need to use which plate for. More specifically, I have Christmas stuff being done, and this was generated using AI Make. So AI Make is xTool's generation platform. So you can see here, print and then cut, relief, vectorize. If I was to go print, you got pop art. So you could go, do you know what? Let's try some pop art. So you can drag and drop an image in. So you can see here, upload image, or if you've already got an image, like I have here, I can actually go AI, edit the image with AI. So I've selected that. You can see it's uploaded it here. And you have some options. So I leave it as fast mode by default. And this is a paid for aspect in the sense of you need credits. The credits are very inexpensive. So 500 credits for £5, 1,000 credits for should say £5, $5. So 1,000 credits for $10 and 2,000 credits for $20. So it works out 6 cents, about 4.5p a generation. But for me, this saves so much time. So much time. So if I hit that, so this just tells us what we got here. So if I just hit that, you can see it's generating, transforming photo into a retro comic book pop art portrait. We've uploaded the photo, so we've already got this photo. And while that's working, I'll just show you some of the amazing things you can do. So this was at my brother's wedding. So this wasn't the highest res photo. I just ripped this off Facebook and I was able to get this. So this warning here, you can see here, it's because this image isn't up to quality. So this image you can see isn't the best image, but it was able to pick up the nuances from that image and generate this, which is for Christmas time. And I've got some dog related ones. So that's my dog in the Aston Villa colours. That's him looking more Christmassy. This is me, my wife, and our dog. And that was taken directly from this photo here. So if you're wondering what these are here, these are the baubles that I've got. So these are flat acrylic, clear acrylic baubles that I plan to do from Christmas time. I was seeing how many can I fit on the build plates. So the biggest plate I can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I can do 20 in one go. And I was just seeing how much ink these use. So for example, here is another one of my dog. And again, looking very Christmassy colors. So here it's done that. I'll just import that into, there we go. And again, this is warning us about this image. If I was to just do that, click on the warnings. This is good now. So I could print it this size and it'd be absolutely fine. And you could go, do you know what? This isn't going to fit on a bauble. Mask it. Do something like that. Hit done. So I don't know if you just saw just how easy that was. There we go. And when we click on it, we have options. So by default, these are normal plus. So it's white plus color, white plus color, white plus color, white plus, well, this one's white color and varnish. So you have these different options. So when I click on this, you can see how it looks. I click on it. You can see the varnish does give it a different look. So I could go, do you know what? I like that look. If I click on this, drop down, white color varnish, preview. And again, I'm doing this. I don't have the 01. I'm no one special. I am in line to get an 01 just as many of you are. But I'm able to test the features before I even get the machine. It might be that I've bought the machine, it's en route, and I want to get some stuff designed before it comes so I can hit the ground running. And it's very much that that I love about xTool, the ability to innovate, not just with the hardware side of things, but with the software. They've done so well over the years with the software. It started out as xTool Creative Space, I believe. So when I brought my first xTool machine, I used to use Lightburn. Anyone that knows Lightburn, it's a paid for third-party solution for engraving. So it generates the G code that the machines need to do their operations. Now I use Lightburn. When I got the S1, I still use Lightburn instead of xTool software, but they made a change, and that change literally halved the time it took for me to do an engraving. So I started using solely xTool's proprietary solution. I loved it that much. I got rid of all my third-party lasers and stuck with just xTool lasers. And it's worked fantastic since then. So it's just been upwards and onwards since then. They've added all different types of support that come in handy. So in terms of the workflow, so batch fill. If I was to show you batch fill, for example, maybe I want to add a name to these. So it could be, do you know what? I need to edit this and I want to send this out to friends so they got a picture of us. Or maybe it's this one. So I could go, do you know what? If I copy and paste that, I put this in here, and what I'll do is I'm gonna mask this one. And I'm gonna zoom in. Let's see. There we go. Let me just edit this. I want that. There we go. I just want to cut off the bottom bit to add a name. There we go. So I've chopped off the bottom bit here. If I click on the text, and by default, the text is going to be black, I think. So if I just type in name, you can't see that. I'm going to change color down here. I'm going to change it to red. And I'll change the fill to red. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put it in the middle, just down just a little bit. So you might be thinking name. Okay. Now, if I click on this, I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to go to useful tools and generators. The xTool continually to add new things here. So I'm going to go to variable design. And I'm going to zoom in on here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to say add variable. So I'm going to leave it as that. I usually give it a custom name, but we'll leave it as that. This does make a great difference if you're importing from a CSV or Excel spreadsheet. If you're unsure about doing batch processing or need help, please do contact me. My details are on the screen. So right now we won't do an import. I'll just show you how to do it manually by typing in a list of names. So this method here, this fixed size text box, I like this. I prefer to keep it like this. As you see, as things are being typed, it is shrinking. So it's not going bigger. And by that, I mean, if I do this, you can see that the box is actually increasing as you type. I don't want that. I only want it to use a certain amount of space. So if I say fixed size text box, absolutely fine. Now I give it some names. So I can say Mike. So these are people I'll give it to. I can say David. Lawrence. So we've added 4 there. And you can see here it says text _1_1. So if I was to have given this a name, a proper name, so by that I mean if I click on this and give it a proper name and just say name, you'll see now it goes name _1. So I would always advise giving it a proper name rather than text 1. It can get a bit confusing. Now if you're saying what's that done, it still says name. You're absolutely right. Now if I copy and paste this design to the next one and do the same thing again, you might have noticed what it's doing. So this is name 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, if I zoom in, you can see there. So if I make this full screen, just show you the screen only, you can see name 4, name 3. Now, if I was to say variable preview, you can see what it's done. And it's literally just that simple. So if you have a laser with a camera, it can auto detect the material and fill out the baubles. So if I was to drop the baubles in there, it would have copied this design automatically and filled it out. So if I was to show you that now with the M2 and just with some keychains, for example. So if I was to open up a new tab, and what we'll do is we'll connect to the M2. And if I was to actually use the square pieces of wood actually, so if I was to use the wood that we used earlier, if I show you this, so what I'm going to do is use the wood that we used earlier. I mean, I know this is printing, so this won't, we'll do something a little bit different. So obviously, actually the M2 can print. So if I was to show you with that as well, I guess. So I'm just going to put these in here. And what I'll do is attach the print head to the M2. So I'm going to close this and you'll hear a beep. So that has automatically or will automatically take a picture. So it's just initializing the head. That's why I have set to the wrong one. Print, there we go. So I'm going to open and close the lid. It does help if I do the right thing. So just open and close. And there you see it has automatically taken a picture. So one of the first things that you note is this here is outside the printing area. So what I'm going to do is just move this over. So I'm just going to move these over here. And again, it will update that picture automatically as soon as I close that lid. So this is a fantastic piece of equipment. It's automatically identified the material, set the focus. So I don't really have to do anything. What I'm going to do is get some close-up pictures. and just show you how to do that. So it's that simple. And while it's doing that, if I just go over to this and go, do you know what? I'll exit that. And we want something like that is what we want. So again, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to go over to here. So if I make this full screen, we'll go over to here, useful tools. And then you've got this variable design. I'm going to select this, add variable. I'm going to give it the variable name because it's useful and meaningful. And again, we'll do Wayne. Mike. Laura. So again, if I open up the variable design, actually we've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4. So rather than me copying and pasting or duplicating, so you can literally copy and paste, you can press the Command key and D on Mac to duplicate it. So you can see here, name 2. What we'll do is I'll just close out of that. I'll go again to here. And this time we've got batch fill. There's 2 different versions of batch fill. One that uses the network. By that, it uses xTool's compute in the cloud, or you can do it locally. So if you're having issues with the network one, if it's taking too long, for example, you can do it batch fill locally. If they're more complex designs, I'd highly recommend you use the network one. But right now, we'll use the network one, and we're frame out materials. So we'll just select those materials. We'll click frame out. And what it will do is it will, there we go. We're just saying where the material begins and where it ends. So right now it's going to take a picture of the bed again, and it's going to identify all the other pieces of material that look identical to that. So you can see there that it's just bouncing around, doing all those close-up pictures. So here you can see recognizing material, queuing, estimated time 10 seconds. And you can see, so it's done one. In this case, it doesn't matter that it's upside down because the orientation of this actually doesn't matter. It's moved that one over slightly because it's on a slant. So it's done it automatically. That's that batch fill. So we used the variable design, add the different names, and then we use the batch fill to batch it out. So if I was to go and hit process, you'll see the different names: Wayne, Kevin, Laura, Mike. So xTool have set you up so you have a nice workflow. So you have a streamlined workflow that enables you to get orders out. So if you're a home business, time is money. If you've got your normal 9-to-5 job, obviously you're limited in time. So you need to be able to do orders fast and efficiently, and xTool have set you up for success. And with that being said, it should be noted that xTool have custom things. So it's no longer showing on here, the custom things, but custom things is a place where you can take orders online. So I have my own custom things account, and a customer is able to quickly and easily customize an order, and I'm able to open it up directly in xTool Studio. So it will appear again down the side here. So the latest update has removed it, and it might have moved somewhere else. So I've only just installed this update, so I'll check. But custom things is absolutely fantastic. I've said this numerous times to numerous people. I've said it here many times. I had a specific customer whereby I was doing a call it. My mind's gone blank. Family tree. So I was doing a family tree for them, and it wasn't overly complex. But what happened is I spent a good hour going back and forth with the customer, making micro adjustments to the family tree. So changing the font, changing the order of people that appear on the left hand and the right hand side. And it was a very convoluted process for me. And I wouldn't be able to make money doing it if that's what happened on every single order. So I spent well over an hour making the slight changes for the customer before I've even done that. So that wasn't even me making it either. With custom things, I can have templates set up. So in this case, I can have various trees, some with 3 branches, 4, 5, depending on the amount of people you want to add. Customer then has the ability to add names to the tree where they want it, or maybe in specific spots. It depends on how you set the template up. The customer does all that work. I don't need to hold their hand. They can just tell me the order's done. They don't even have to do that. When they place an order, so let's just say I send the link to the family tree to the customer, they will customize it per their requirements. I will get a notification to say an order's been placed, and it then just opens up in xTool Studio with the correct settings, with everything exactly as it should be. All I have to do is hit that process button, place the correct material in the machine, and I'm good to go. It's literally that simple. So I can focus on what I want to do best, and that's ship finished product and make money, versus spending hours designing. So if you have an Etsy store, for example, so if you're already established and do this, you'll know that just when you get the order, the work doesn't end there. You have to copy and paste, and there's the potential to miss things out. With custom things, all that work's been done for you. You don't have to open up a template. So in my case, before custom things, I would still have to open up a template for the family tree. Did they order a 5-person family tree or 10-person family tree? I would have to open up the relevant template. I would have to see what font they selected, make sure I chose the correct font. I then would have to copy and paste meticulously the names that they wanted in the various parts of the family tree, and then send it off to them before I make it. And then that's where the adjustments come in. They go, we can't have Rebecca next to Fred. It doesn't look right. Can you have Rebecca on the furthest right and Fred on the furthest left? And things like that. So that eats away at your time. Custom things takes all of that energy away from you and puts it on the customer. So the onus is on the customer. If there's a name that's spelt wrong, that's not your fault. Customer has entered it in wrong. So I spoke to a customer that has many xTool products. They use their lasers extensively for wedding related things. And one of their biggest issues is typing in the names wrong. So they have a big Etsy shop, and they're forever having to redo orders. And they check it sometimes. I shouldn't say sometimes. They check it before it goes out. Sometimes they get missed and they have to redo it. But it's a bane of their existence when they realized, when they're checking it, that they've missed out a name or part of a name. This gets rid of all of that waste. So lost time, lost money in materials, and if you've shipped it out, lost money in packaging, postage and packaging, and redoing it, and potential bad feedback. So I highly recommend you check out custom things. If you get stuck, again, please do reach out. I can put you in touch with someone that knows. If I don't know something, I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction. There's many things that I don't know, and I'm more than happy to say and admit when I don't know something. So for example, the metal fab machine, I know about it. I know some aspects of the xTool metal fab machine, but when it comes to using it on a daily basis, I don't have that experience. So I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction of someone that owns a metal fab and that uses it on a daily basis, so you can get the best answers to make a decision if you're going to purchase. So I think that's all we have time for today. I will be online tomorrow. Let me just double check the time. I believe it is at 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be online. I'll have some exciting updates on the xTool X1. So if you're interested in finding out more information about xTool's next generation product, I'll have more information for you tomorrow. What I will do, however, is if you want to check out some information today, they have a Facebook group. So this is xTool's official Facebook group. I'll drop that in the comments. So please do follow and join that group. And again, this is xTool's official group. And they've rebranded it to the xTool X1 Laser official group. And they have been dropping teasers in that group. So if you're interested, please do follow that. I cannot wait to find out what this machine can do, what type of machine it is. They dropped a couple of pictures, or I shouldn't say a couple, a picture with 2 of these X1s in it, and you can just see a little bit of what the machine is. So I'm really eagerly waiting for them to find out more information they can give us for that machine. There is going to be a live, I think it's next week, or it's just short of a week. But again, I'll give details about that tomorrow. So I'm just going through all that. That dropped last night. So I'm going to collate that information today and I will give it to you tomorrow. And I'll play a video tomorrow as well of the machine against a third-party machine, just to show you what they mean when they say it's a next-gen machine. So thank you for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, please do reach out. More than happy to help you. Thank you, and I will see you.